First of all, before we even get started here, I want to let you guys know one thing up front. I'm going to be okay. However, I did just go through a pretty scary ordeal over the past couple of weeks, and I debated whether or not to even tell you guys about any of this. I didn't know what people usually do when it came to their health and whether or not to keep it private or to share it. And after thinking about it for a while, I decided that I wanted to make a video about this because whenever anything is going on near me, I get so many messages from you guys, all of you. The most recent example of this would have been the LA fires. I live in San Diego. LA is 2 hours north of me. But when all that was going on in Hollywood, I was getting messages from you guys checking on me, making sure I'm okay. Whenever there's an earthquake in Northern California, I get people messaging me, checking on me. I know that my audience, there's many of you who I talk to who genuinely care about me and care about this channel. And I thought I would share this news with you that I got this week that is pretty scary, but at the same time, pretty relieving. I am 47 years old, and I've been very grateful, very blessed to have never been sick or ill in any way. I have not been to the doctor since I was a kid. I think the last doctor I saw for a routine checkup was a pediatrician. That's how long I have gone in between doctor visits because I've never been hospitalized. I've never been operated on. I've never even been under anesthesia for anything. So I've been very lucky in my life. I've just had a couple of broken toes and some stitches. That's been the extent of any sort of hospital or doctor visits I've ever had. So now that I'm 47 years old, I figured it was probably long past time for me just to go get a physical exam, just to check on myself. I feel healthy. I feel perfectly fine, but I'm at the age now where I should probably get things checked. So that's what I did. I made an appointment with a physician, and they just ran some routine blood work on me. Everything else was fine. BP and heart rate and everything else going on with me is fine. But they did run blood work. And when I got the results back, there were a few alarming bells in there as it relates to my red blood cell count, which a lot of times can be an indicator of cancer. So what they had to do was to rule out that I don't have any sort of major cancer like lung cancer, liver cancer, kidney cancer, or pancreatic cancer, many of which would have ended my life within 5 years. And I had to wait for these results to come in. And I had to go over a week with not knowing if I'm going to get the worst news of my life or not. Now, luckily, everything's clear. My organs are great. However, I did test positive for a very specific gene mutation that causes a very rare and incurable blood cancer called polycythemia vera, or PV. And basically, this is a disorder where my bone marrow makes too many red blood cells. And there's really nothing you can do about this other than treat it. Now, luckily, this is a treatable cancer. This is a treatable disorder. It can't be cured, but it can be managed. And luckily, from everything I understand, I do have my first appointment with the hematologist in less than 2 weeks, but I have been communicating with them, and from everything they've told me, there's not going to be any chemo or radiation in my future, anything like that. It's probably going to be mostly routine blood drawing and probably some medication and possibly even a bone marrow biopsy to get some of the specifics in. But the good news here is that the major stuff has been ruled out. The very, very serious cancers, I don't have tumors all in me or anything like that. And that's been really, really good news to get. So even though I was diagnosed with a blood cancer, I personally am very relieved and very grateful that it wasn't anything worse, because this is really the first health scare I've ever had. And it was a little weird, to be honest, because it's really tough to sleep and it's really tough to do your job and it's really tough to be on camera when you have stuff like this hanging over your head. So I'm very, very pleased that this is as bad as it is. Now, I'm under great risk for clot and stroke with this type of blood, but I think this is what my treatment is going to focus on and handle for me and manage to where I should live a normal life and a normal lifespan. So I am extremely grateful for that news. I did post this on social media a few days ago. Many of you have already reached out. One of our good friend of the channel, Salamonster, reached out. He has the same thing. He and I have something very similar. I don't think we're the exact same disorder, but we're in the same neighborhood. I know he shared this information with his listeners and on social media. That's why I'm mentioning it. I'm not breaking any privacy or anything like that. But it is interesting how the two of us have kind of always been compared to each other, and now we have the same exact disorder. But I wanted to just tell you guys, the reason is because this April, I'm going to have been on YouTube for 15 years. And a lot of you have been with me and listening to me since the beginning. And I know based on what you guys say to me, the messages I get, the emails I get, the things that I find in my P.O. box, a lot of you have genuine care for me and the content creators that you watch. I'm the same way. There's a lot of YouTubers that I watch that I've never met, but I feel a bond with, like I care about them. If something happens to them, I would like to know about it so I can wish them the best or whatever. So I kind of sat on it for a few days. I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything, but then I kind of decided that I would make a YouTube video and just tell you guys what is going on. I have PV. I tested positive for a gene mutation that causes my bone marrow to produce too many red blood cells, and I'm going to be dealing with this for the rest of my life. But the good news is I am going to have a rest of my life. And I'm trying to look at the bright side here. You know, there's a lot of people out there. Cancer is a horrible, horrible fucking thing that ruins lives and families all throughout the world. And I'm grateful that it wasn't worse for me. And that's just all I can really do is just look at the bright side and just deal with it. You know, you got a difficult situation, face it head on. So if there is a moral to this story, and if there's a message I want to share with any of you, if you have not been to the doctor in a while and you feel perfectly healthy, go get yourself checked out because you never know. I thought I was healthy as a horse. I walked into that doctor's office with the utmost confidence, knowing I feel great. Nothing's wrong with me. I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. Got plenty of energy for my age, and I'm happy. I'm not depressed. I'm never sick. I just assumed it was a formality. I was going in for a formality just to make sure and confirm with myself that I'm healthy as a horse. It turns out I wasn't. So if you are near my age or if you haven't been to the doctor in a significant amount of time, go get checked out. You never know. You never know. So that's my advice to all of you. Also, stay hydrated and drink water. It's very important. So anyway, just wanted to fill you in on a little personal life update, but all is well here. It's not going to affect my life. There might be an inconvenient doctor's appointment here and there, but it certainly should not affect much for the channel at all. We're going to keep plugging away here, and we've got a huge WrestleMania season right on the doorstep here. We're going to have a lot of fun on the channel in the next couple of months. So that is what is going on with me lately, for those wondering, and for those who were looking for a follow-up to the post I made over on Twitter a couple of days ago. So thank you so much for sitting through this life update with me. I appreciate it. You guys are the best, and I just really, really appreciate all of your support. Take care. Peace.